Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Rant Squad. I am the Water Dog. This is
Clint Jordan.
and this is
Menard.
and we are going to give you our Week 10 surprises, brother, and tell you everything we liked and disliked, all about Week 10 games. And we're going to get started here with Clint Holland. We're going to talk about your favorite winning team. What's the surprise,
The
brother?
surprise win was ending the 7-game losing streak, the New Orleans Saints. It really is true what they say, when it's a divisional game, all bets are off. And really, the Saints, I feel like they had an opportunity to even open up a bigger can of whooping butt on the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, Kamara at the end of the game drops what probably was a 60-yard touchdown pass to even extend that lead. Even if so, Kirk Cousins, he had the opportunity. He had the ball in his hands at the end of the game. I thought he made some really poor decisions on that final drive to try to go get into field goal range. But the Saints, they would just not be denied. You could tell there was a bit of a fire under them with no Dennis Allen, and that's what you see. Usually that first week you have the interim head coach, you have a little bit of a fire under a team. They were ready to win, and it was good to see. And I really liked it. Who they helped the most was the Bucs, because the Bucs are still playing really good football. I hate it for them. I feel so bad for Baker because he is playing his heart out.
Baker is an MVP candidate for me right now, especially if the Buccaneers make the playoffs. He is
the only way they're going to make the playoffs, though, is through that division. And what's hard is they've already played Atlanta twice. They have to finish with a better record.
They're 3 games back. If you look at the tiebreaker, so
they have to finish with a better record than Atlanta. It's the only way you can do it. Yeah. But just really impressed by the Saints, just going in there and putting it on.
All right. Well, my pick is the Arizona Cardinals. I was actually kind of surprised because I really thought with everything going that this would be the chance or the opportunity for the Jets to really climb back in it. Because you're looking at an Arizona team that's just up, it's down, but it's been playing okay football, but it's been playing very good football. Then this week they played great football.
They did.
And they defeated the Jets 31-6. They just dominated on both the offense and the defensive side of the ball. Kyler Murray was 22 of 24, 1 touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. The Jets' total yards was 207. Aaron Rodgers was 151 passing yards. They pretty much held the Jets, and that's with Breece Hall, by the way, under 60 yards rushing, which makes absolutely no sense.
And the Cardinals don't have that strong of a defensive line. They just put a good game plan together.
They put the game plan together, and it's, once again, this is just going to go back to what Brenda's been saying about the Jets. They suck!
They do.
And
they suck.
And I don't think I ever want to talk about that ever again. I think I'm done. But I thought the Cardinals played great. They're still first place in their division. And so, they can keep that going on because it looks more likely more than anything else. If you want to get out in the West, you're going to have to win that division. It looks like you're going to probably
I agree. I mean, we're more week by week. I think you're looking at 3 teams coming from the north, and you're probably looking at 2 teams coming from the east. So that locks up the wild card spot. So I can put the South and the West. The winner's going to have to win the division.
And they're all just so close in the West right now.
Yeah. Who you got, Mr. Brendan?
So my surprising win was New Orleans Saints, and I'm going to go with Clint on this one. We always talk about when you fire the head coach, and there's kind of this new spirit around the locker room. The Jets tried that; it didn't work. We got covered that, but it worked for the Saints. And the reason this was so surprising to me, I would have picked Atlanta to win this.
Oh, absolutely.
I think they're more talented. They're everything. And so just for the Saints to take care of business and win that game, I loved it. It moved them up a draft slot, over the Raiders. We've got 3 wins now for them. But it was just very surprising to me because I think looking at it, Atlanta is this team we're looking at. When they're firing all cylinders, that's a good team. And so to lose to the Saints, I think it was pretty tough, so I'm going to give it to New Orleans.
All righty. Let's go to losing team. Which one really disappointed you? What's the big surprise there, Clint?
It's the one, I think coming into the week, I expected them to lose. But when you saw the first half the Texans played, I went to bed mad last night. There's no better way to say it. I thought D'Amico put a hell of a defensive plan together. They came out firing on all cylinders. C.J. Stroud looked like that C.J. Stroud we saw last year. Just in all metrics, to lose the way they lost. Getting 5 interceptions on Jared Goff. Now, Stroud threw 2, and I blame the loss on him because he made 3 mistakes on the wide open touchdown pass that was intercepted in the third quarter. The Texans didn't score a single point in the second half. Jared Goff was 15 of 30. I mean, this is a guy that's been averaging 83% completion percent. I mean, they made him look like one of the worst quarterbacks in football last night. Gibbs and Montgomery were both under 4 yards a carry last night. I mean, it just bewilders me. And this is, I got to put this on Stroud because I thought for the most part, the offensive line was giving him time. They weren't flushing him out. The running game, it definitely had its struggles last night. But I just put this on Stroud. Like I said, that the biggest thing is that wide open touchdown pass. He made 3 mistakes. One, he hesitated, which he did a lot in the second half. I feel like he hesitated on the first throw, which was a pick, and he hesitated on this one. He threw a lob instead of throwing a dart, which allowed Cortland Davis to speed up, and then he threw where the receiver was, not where he was going to be. Had he led him, there's no way that's a pick. I just put this one on Stroud. It's unfortunate, like I said, the Houston Texans came out, and I mean, nobody, I feel like everybody was shocked. I mean, they made the Detroit Lions look like a terrible football team, you know, and I think maybe this could be an opening for teams to kind of see how we beat Detroit. Just because I think the big thing was in the first half, Chris Collinsworth kept saying Amon-Ra had no involvement. It looks like he is the engine of that offense because once they got him going, it opened up other things. And then on top of that, you had that kicker. I mean, both his kicks must have kissed. It wasn't like it was a foot in. I mean, y'all, they were in. I mean, just.
What does it say about the Lions to have played their worst game, and in the second half, the defense shuts down Houston. They get their act together. They start the running game with Montgomery. Montgomery goes and makes a couple of key runs, gets a touchdown. Then when they needed a play from they got it.
It shows me that their coordinators are making the right adjustments because I feel like that's something we hadn't seen. You know, the Minnesota game, they were a little bit behind, but this was probably the first game all year where those coordinators just needed to, hey, throw the script aside, let's do this. And that was something that I felt Houston, I don't think they made adjustments as the game went along.
They needed a fourth quarter adjustment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and then, of course, you know, it hurt. We had the missed PI at the end of the game. That really hurt, but you can't blame it on penalties. I mean, like I said, no, Detroit, it just shows why they're one of the best teams in the league. But I thought the 2 best teams in football should have lost yesterday.
Okay. Mine was the Chicago Bears. To me, it was just an embarrassing loss. They got crunched by the New England Patriots 19-3. And Caleb Williams was 16 for 30 for 120 passing yards. Total yards for the Chicago Bears was 142 yards. 142 yards. And this is a team that was on the rise, but ever since they lost that darn game on that play, you know, on that Washington Hail Mary play. This has not been the same team since that play. That play seems to have completely turned this team upside down because they were on the rise. Everybody was liking everything they were doing.
4-2, they were looking good.
And all of a sudden, you get this Hail Mary pass, you end up losing the game, and they still have not recovered from that.
Well, I think the coach lost the team. And
Yeah.
then the subsequent practices.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a chance they don't win a game for the rest of the year. They still have to play everyone in their division twice.
Yeah, I bet I mentioned that. I was talking. We actually talked about it in the show last week, me and Brendan, and actually said I went through the schedule.
Oh, did you?
I simply said loss.
I don't think they won. Yeah.
I don't see a victory at all. Brendan, who you got?
So this week, there's a team I watch all the time. And I don't really know how you can pinpoint how they lost this game. It was tough to watch though. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I'm gonna talk about New York Jets right now. And I love watching the Jets.
You weren't gonna talk about the Jets no more.
What?
You swore.
Hey, I did. And then they go out there and put on a performance like that.
God.
And you just can't. You just can't.
I know it was embarrassing. Gosh, you talk
After dismantling Houston and
Oh yeah.
Rodgers has lost all credibility.
Oh no, he's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest.
He's lost all
What
credibility.
we are seeing right now is the tale of two 40-year-olds. We saw Tom Brady in Tampa. Now we're seeing Aaron Rodgers with the Jets.
I think it's funny how much Aaron is reminding me of Russell. Now Russell's had the opportunity to kind of bring it back in Pittsburgh. I mean, look at what he was in Denver. You know,
I thought Russell was good in Denver, except for when they didn't have the coach. The first year that he was there, they didn't have a coach who didn't do. And that was, by the way, is the same coach that was the offensive
I know,
coordinator
I
for the
know,
New York Jets, Nathaniel
I know.
Hackett. So it's the same reason why Russell Wilson wasn't successful in Denver.
Well,
Sean Payton comes over there. He's very
He's
successful.
okay. He wasn't very successful. He was okay.
He was really good. Listen,
He was not really good.
did not transfer to all the wins they wanted because the defense in Denver did not play as well as Denver's defense is playing this year. But he had a low interception
We'll see.
count. He had a high pace.
Regardless, it's very
And
simple.
Pittsburgh is 3-0 under Russell Wilson. I'll defend Russell Wilson.
Let's quit talking about good teams and go back to the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
There's a great football quote by Bill Parcells.
You are your record.
No, that's a good one. But if they're going to ask you to cook the dinner, they should let you shop for the groceries. Well, Aaron Rodgers is shopping for the groceries, and someone needs to get him out of the kitchen. Or
He's burning it.
Or go get that man some hamburger helper, because he can't cook.
Well, they're just about done. I mean, one more ball still. I know, but you know what I mean. I just mean technicalities.
Yeah, I think this loss because this one's gonna be.
This was their opportunity to get back on track. If you can put together back-to-back wins against winning teams, be 4-6, there's a path.
And all I gotta say is, Devontae, how do you like it now?
Yeah, there you go.
Devontae Adams left the Raiders for this, and he's got one more win. Congratulations.
All right, best performance by a player, Mr. Clinton.
Well, I made a personal rule from now on is you have to win when you do this because I would love to give this to Joe Burrow. I really do. But Joe didn't win, and Lamar did. And that's another team. Man, the three best teams in football. Because I think it's Baltimore, KC, and Detroit. The three best teams in football should have lost this week.
But that's the reason why they're the three.
That's what exactly. I mean, Baltimore was able to keep their cool down 21, and it was such a different game. That's what amazed me is this didn't turn into a score fest until halfway through the third quarter. It was. I thought the Bengals were doing so well. They were keeping this a slow-paced game. They were keeping Lamar contained. And then, man, when they fumbled that ball, Lamar said, "Okay, you
Jamar
get it now."
blew it up, brother.
Jamar did everything. Jamar did everything. Joe did
played his
everything.
best game.
Joe did everything he could. It was the defense crumbled, and Lamar did what he did. He took advantage, and he went out there and he put together another MVP style performance. Lamar just, man, I'm just impressed.
The Bengals are the opposite of the Chiefs. Where the Chiefs somehow have a voodoo doll of every other team and find a way.
Everybody's got a Bengals voodoo doll.
The Bengals can't buy a win to save their life.
The Bayou Bengals.
It's just like that's really the difference. Because a lot of times when you think about the NFL, man, the margin error is just so tiny.
It's about an inch if you watch the Texans game last night.
It's just tiny, and it's just like it's a play here, it's a play there, and all of a sudden, but in the crucial moments, which is that fourth quarter, those last few minutes, who makes that play and who doesn't? And the Bengals often are not the team that's making that play.
Yeah. Well, their defense isn't making that play. The offense was making it.
All righty, mine is Chuba Hubbard. That's right, Chuba Hubbard blew it up against the New York Giants. They beat the Giants 20-17. He had 28 carries, 153 rushing yards, and they just basically rode that man to a victory. One big rushing touchdown. And he's played well. He's been the best player for the Carolina Panthers all year long.
So I got a fantasy question for y'all. What do y'all think? What does this tell y'all about Jonathan Brooks? The number one running back, rookie coming out. I know he was hurt, but then is this something where y'all think they're trying to put together a 1-2 punch like Detroit has, or is this saying, oh, we think Jonathan Brooks is hurt more than maybe the people let on? Because they signed Chuba to a 4-year, $32 million. That puts him in the top 5-10 paid running backs.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
Well, I think one thing is if you're looking at production, he's your best producer rewarding. So I think it really has something to do with it too. He's been your best producer. The other thing is that Carolina really hasn't figured out what they're going to do because they've gone through coach.
They're going to draft another quarterback
Offense. And it's just like anything. You have to give some things time. You can't just sit there and think after 1 to 2 years. The nice thing about, at least what the Bears did, was they at least gave him an opportunity to do it. Same thing with McDaniel over there in Miami. They gave him one rose and the other one has stayed in mediocrity. But you don't know what you've got until you've had it for a few years.
I'm just curious. Like I said, it makes me wonder, man, if this is a hurt to a lot of the dynasty people out there that spent a top 3 pick on Jonathan Brooks.
I just think that they made a mistake when they fired that first coach.
Frank Reich.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think they made a big mistake because they just didn't give him time. You got a rookie quarterback. You've got a coach with a winning pedigree, but you just didn't give it time. And so that's ownership. That's ownership. That's general management. That's where that comes from.
Hasty, being hasty.
But I think Chuba Hubbard's had a great year, and I gave him my best performance of the week. What you got?
So going into this, I thought someone would pick somebody out of that Cincinnati-Baltimore game. I thought, Hubbard would get at least someone's attention. I'm going to go with George Pickens for the Steelers, and because it was nice to see him kind of unlocked after by Russell Wilson. 5 for 7, 91 yards and a touchdown. It looked really nice to see him. I thought it was a very big key to them being able to win that game. And so, to me, that was the best performance because I didn't see it coming. I think when we talk about Chase and Lamar and Burrow, and all this, they're going to put numbers. Yeah, sometimes they really blow the top off. It was really nice to see George Pickens come out and have a good week.
A couple of games in a row, and ever since Russell Wilson's been the starting quarterback, he has blown up. So
But it reminds me so much of a relationship that Lockett and Russell Wilson had. The only difference here is Pickens is a true alpha style receiver. He's got the size, he's got the strength, and
don't
it's
forget
impressive.
they even got that winning touchdown to Williams.
Williams is going to be a.
So you've got three legitimate, threats between the tight end and the two receivers inside that end zone. So red zone for them is great. Now the interesting question is do you add Justin Fields to a red zone package? Because if you can add a denominator like that, maybe that even spices up your red zone even more. But you don't know because you don't want to break up the continuity. Of
the reason
Wilson.
I don't want to do that is because when he does come in, they're running it. And I don't feel comfortable with him throwing it on the goal line.
All righty. Let's go now to worst performance. Clint?
Sam Darnold. Just really unfortunate. I'm sorry. They were very fortunate to have played the Trevor Lawrence-less Jacksonville Jaguars because had they played just about any other team in the league, they'd probably lose that game because the Panthers had been playing better. 3 picks. I don't know why don't get me wrong, as a fantasy manager, please throw it to Justin Jefferson every play. But he had 3 picks targeting Justin Jefferson on Sunday. All 3 of his picks.
Film. That's one of the things.
I know film, but man, you've got Hawkinson, you've got Jordan Addison, you've got Aaron Jones. I feel like we're starting to see the holes. You are starting to get a little film, but I wonder if Darnold is the pressure getting to him a little bit. I just think he really needs to get Darnold calmed down because, like I said, and they almost lost that game. Mac Jones kind of threw up a wild go for it all pass at the end of the game. I was kind of confused on. They should have lost the game, the Vikings, and that's not. This isn't one of those games. Oh, good teams find a way to win. This was just they played a bad team and got lucky. So Sam Darnold, it just was pitiful.
All right. Mine is a kicker. Young Hoku basically lost the game for the Atlanta Falcons.
No.
Does he do? Yes, he did. They lost to the Saints 20-17. He missed his 3 field goals. He missed a 30-yard field goal. He missed a 40-yard field goal. He missed a 50-yard field goal. And one of those, the 40-yard, was the game-tying field goal. Kickers lost that game for the Falcons. Because Cousins threw for over 300 yards. Threw for over 300 yards in that game and put them into position to score because sometimes that's all you need when you're a good team and you're playing against a defensive team at home like that. The difference is field goals. And to me, who lost that game? You missed 3 field goals, 3 opportunities.
You want to win? Don't put your team in position relying on a kicker.
Hey, sorry, but the NFL, part of the game is kicking.
I agree.
And so if we're going to sit there and talk about the fact that we looked at the Detroit Lions, one because of their kicker, because of their kicker. But I'm simply saying in that game, their kicker won the game.
But if you're saying this is the Kamar and dropped a touchdown, and then those 3 field goals don't matter because they would have won by 10, and that's only 9. What ifs?
What ifs?
But yes, it was Kuz. I think they said it was the first game in his career missing 3 field goals.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a bet. We're talking about worst performance here, Clinton. We're talking about
I
worst
just want to fire you up. I missed you last week. I got to get a little extra salt in the wound.
All right, I don't want to talk to you. Who you got, Brendan?
I'm going to talk about a player who played against one of the best defenses I've ever seen. I'm talking Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. They ain't got nothing on this guy. I'm about the Arizona Cardinals defense against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did the worst performance of the week. You know, you were.
More Jets! J-E-T, yes.
Hey, I'm going to keep talking about it because I want to.
It was bad.
And the 2000 Ravens probably would not have made them look that bad. The Cardinals aren't that good.
What more can you say?
Hey, when they win, I'll shut up. When they win, I will shut up.
I don't even know who they play this week.
Pick it against them.
I purposely did not put them in our picks.
Is
Oh,
that
come
what?
on! I don't want to be biased now.
Let's see. I'm curious. So they play the Colts. So I hope they win for the Houston division, but we'll see.
But gang, that's all we got time for. That's all we got time for. We've been the Rant Squad. I'm the Water Dog.
Clint George.
This is,
Clint George.
and we are out of here.